Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host, Dylan Hibbard, and in today's video, we're going to go over the Thunder's win over the Hornets this weekend. We're going to dive into Shea, Chet's performance, and then we'll also talk about Tre Mann. It's always fun to see Tre Mann out there, one of the guys that we had to trade, unfortunately, and he's just a fan favorite with the Thunder. We'll talk about that game. We're also going to talk about the Pelicans-Thunder game tonight. The Thunder will be in New Orleans taking on a very bad Pelicans team once again. I think it's already their second time playing the Pelicans this year. And then towards the end, we're going to talk about the Thunder's health, a lot of updates on some stuff going on with the Thunder, on who's out and who will not be for that Pelicans game. But first off, just diving into that Hornets-Thunder game, and this was a game where the Hornets really stuck around for 2.5 quarters, really stuck around for more than what most teams have against this OKC team throughout the season. So props to the Hornets. They really stuck around. After the first quarter, it was tied 30-30. Halftime, the Thunder were only up by 2. And then towards that middle of the third quarter is really when the Thunder just kind of break away and really just prove why they're the better team and the best team in the league with an insane, I think they ended up going on like a 10-0 run and then like a 13-2 run that really kind of separated them from the Hornets. But this was another game where Shea and Chet really went off. Shea once again did not play another fourth quarter, and it sounds like we're just a broken record saying this over and over again. But now this is 8 out of 14 games where Shea has not had to play the fourth quarter. That's over half of the games that he's not had to play the fourth quarter, and that's just massive, especially knowing that Shea goes out there every single night and he plays every single game, that you're able at this point now, when eight fourth quarters that you're not having to play him, that's 2 entire games that he's been able to just sit on the bench and not have to worry about putting his body through it and have to make more shots and go out there. So that's really big by the Thunder. And not only Shea really played well in this game because he had 33 and 7 in 3 quarters, Chet continues to make that leap on his year and just continues to show off. He had 25 and 8 and looked really good overall, and Chet has really improved a lot, and I really liked what I've seen from him this season so far, and not just in this game, but now he's averaging nearly 20 and 10 like we talk about. I believe Chet can be that 20 and 10 guy all season long. He just has to stay healthy, be more consistent, and really the only kind of dink that we have on Chet so far is his blocking numbers are kind of down on the season, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just this Thunder team gets so many steals that most of the time we're getting steals, and then teams, when they're able to get into the paint, they're not wanting to put shot ups because they know you have Hartenstein and Chet down there, and Chet just hasn't had those opportunities to get as many blocks, but he still has a block and a half on the season, just not what we're used to over the past 2 seasons where he's averaging 2.5, nearly 3 blocks. But another great game. Isaiah Hartenstein continues to put up double-doubles on the daily. He had 12 and 12. A.J. Mitchell with 14 points and continuing to show off his possibly either 6th man of the year or most improved. Kind of had a conversation about, do we believe A.J. Mitchell's could most likely win the most improved or the 6th man of the year? And you kind of go back and forth because there's a lot of candidates for most improved. And I think Denny Avdia is at the helm of that right now. So it's going to be hard for him to beat that out. But you could also see him win 6th man of the year. But we're going to have to see, once all these guys come back like J-Dub and Aaron Wiggins who are hurt, how that scoring kind of dips, because at right now he's averaging around 16.5. When J-Dub and Aaron Wiggins comes back, does that dip to around 14, 13? And then where does he set at in the most improved player and the 6th man of the year? And even if he doesn't win those awards, I think everybody has recognized this leap and kind of jump into what A.J. Mitchell has been able to do for the bench unit as a creator and second option off the bench has been so big for the Thunder, and it's a big reason why they're off to this 13-1 start and a possible threat to the Warriors' 73-9 record, and he's been a big part of it. So even if he doesn't win those awards like the 6th man of the year and the most improved, that people will still recognize what A.J. Mitchell has done in being able to unlock another level of this Thunder team, not only just on the offensive end, but also to that bench unit and on the defensive end. He's just as good, and he plays hard defense just like the rest of this team. But we now are kind of talking about the Shea and Trey man. We talked about Shea a little bit, had 33-7, and Shea is averaging over his last 4 games where he hasn't played the fourth quarter once. He's averaging 32.5 points in 3 quarters. So I don't think people really quite realize when they're trying to compare like scoring with guys like Luka, where Luka's putting up 40. If Shea had to play all 4 quarters and it was close like some of those Laker games are, Shea would without a doubt go out there and most likely drop 40 and 10 every single night. It's just that come the third quarter, the Thunder are up by 15 and 20, and Shea starts off the fourth quarter normally on the bench, and then the Thunder are so good and so deep that by the time when Shea would normally need to come back into the game, they're up by 20 and there's no reason to bring him out. So Shea is continuing to show off why he's just an amazing scorer, averaging 33 pretty much through 3 quarters, and it's just amazing to see every single night. And on the Trey Man side of things, he was out there for the Hornets, another guy that the Thunder traded away a couple years back, but he continues to be a great friend to a lot of these players. We saw in the pregame that Shea and Trey Man was kind of talking along and just kind of joking around. Trey Man had a decent game, shot 4 for 14 from the field with 10 points. He had a really nasty step back 3 on Alex Caruso that looked really good, but just a lot of great stuff from him. We always love to see Trey Man. We wish he could have stayed on the team, but just unfortunately those little role players that have to get moved on because they're not going to be able to fit, and Trey Man was one of those guys. But looking back on this game, the Thunder and the Hornets, they were close throughout the about 2.5 quarters, and then the Thunder pulled away, and then they held on for the 109-96 victory to improve to 13-1. And now they're looking to go 14-1 tonight through 15 games, as they're going to be in New Orleans tonight, taking on the 2-1 Pelicans. And this Pelican team has really struggled so far in this season. They're at the bottom. They're projected to get a top 5 pick in this draft, and not really sure what the Pelicans are trying to do at this point in the season. You had coming into the season a lot of photos and really looking at Zion, and they're like a skinny Zion. Maybe that can unlock the Pelicans. Maybe the Pelicans can fight through the play-in, maybe even win a 9-10 play-in game. But from the way it's starting, they just haven't been able to get things put together, and they've really been struggling on all fronts on the court. So this is a team that is 2-10 coming into this game, and the Thunder should really take advantage of pretty easily. And don't be shocked. I would almost put money on it at this point. I mean, if you're betting at this point that Shea will either not play the fourth quarter or will, your odds are better that he won't. And I think this could very well be another game that come third quarter, the Thunder right now at the end of the third quarter, the score is possibly 90-70, 90-68, and there's just no reason to bring Shea in. Shea already has his 36-6, and then you can get more rotational minutes to those bench guys and the younger guys that need to get those minutes, because come playoff time, I mean, we don't remember that A.J. Mitchell didn't play in the playoffs. He had a couple of spot minutes towards like the end of some quarters, but really didn't do much. So you're giving these guys those spot minutes and really letting them continue to get out there and get a lot of shots up and getting their rhythm in, because you know what Shea's going to do. You allow guys like Chet and those guys who are a bit more injury prone or dealing with stuff like Lou Dort currently to set that fourth quarter. You still have your bench out there, and the bench is good enough, especially to go against a 2-10 Pelicans team where they're still going to go out there, they're going to play hard defense and still win the game by 20 plus, and that's what I fully expect this Thunder team to do against this Pelicans team, who is on the decline and most likely going to be tanking for trying to at least for one of those top 3 draft prospects in the upcoming 2026 draft. And now we'll talk about the Thunder's health slowly getting back to where it needs to be. And we just, at the time of this recording, got info that Alex Caruso will be questionable for tonight's game against the New Orleans Pelicans. So Alex Caruso will most likely be a game-time decision. Lou Dort is healthy. He will be out there. But J-Dub and Aaron Wiggins will still remain out for this game. They are still dealing with stuff. There's no update on any J-Dub stuff at the point of recording this, whether it's J-Dub going to be returning this week or how far we are. But on J-Dub's social media, he posted this week a photo, and on the caption he put "talk to you soon." So you have to believe that at least in this week. If it's not towards the end of this week, guaranteed next week that J-Dub will be back. We're right around that corner of getting J-Dub back, and it feels like we really need him. And hopefully he can get back and be, once again, the big contributor and all-NBA guy like we know him. And not just him, Aaron Wiggins. Aaron Wiggins has been out for the past 4 or 5 games. So really to have Aaron Wiggins back as another guy who's just a 3-level threat who plays amazing defense is going to be so good to this Thunder team. And hopefully we can continue to see these guys slowly get back and get healthy. But, I mean, at this point, there's no rush to get these guys back. The Thunder are 13-1, hoping to go 14-1 through 15 games. And it's just amazing to see. So the Thunder are not going to risk having these guys come back when they're not ready, especially J-Dub with the wrist injury, knowing how important J-Dub is, and you just gave him the Supermax. And with the way this Thunder team is rolling, there's no reason to risk those. But as we're going into this Pelicans game tonight, Alex Caruso will be a questionable game time decision for the Thunder. Lou Dort is good to go, but Aaron Wiggins and J-Dub will remain out for this one. But that'll be it for me today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.